Hey everyone, kumusta? Habari zenu? Guten Tag, ohoro wanyu, and all the other greetings. I hope you guys are doing okay. If you just came onto my video, thanks for clicking on it. I hope you'll stick around and learn something. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
I'll let you take the first punch. Let's go. Put up or shut up, Charlie Kirk.
You know
Put
what?
Up or shut
so,
up.
First of all, it says very clearly in the Bible that we shouldn't harm those that are worthy of protection, and you obviously are.
You're just worried I'll kick your ass.
Well on Medicare age. But let's play this out. Despite the obvious fact, and you and I both know who would win this duel. However.
Well,
hold on a second. This is a great embodiment of the American left. You can't debate, so you want to go to blows. You can't. The only thing that is preventing us from this country from going to civil war is debate and dialogue, and you don't even want to have debate. You want to go and you want to wrestle like a 7-year-old. Who here is actually dividing the country?
No. A gentleman's fist fight. You know what that is, right?
Again, I would like to think that we are elevated above trying to go have a fight in the streets or a fight in front of 2,000 people. In fact, a mark of civilization is that we don't have to go to blows or bullets, that we can have discourse and debate, but yet you're inviting that.
And you know that out here in the West, that's a bunch of bullshit.
Oh, really? You don't debate out in the West?
Real men stand up for what they believe.
You guys don't dialogue in the West?
Come on, man. Look, I know.
How about this? Why don't you, since you're a 70-year-old aged elder and you want to have a fist fight with a 31-year-old?
Is that how old you are?
Why don't you tell me what a woman is?
See, I am not here to debate you. I'm here to prove you wrong. Prove you wrong. Prove him wrong. So either put up or shut up. I'll walk away. You tell me right now.
I will say this. I will say this. I'm not going to fight you because I don't have to. Because you know why?
You don't have to.
You are acting as if someone who is very desperate, who is clout chasing. We are going to remain peaceful while the left promotes violence. We are going to be the peace. Because, as Christ our Lord said, blessed are the peacemakers, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Thank you, sir, and get out of here.
And now I'm not. ICE.
What is that symbol?
Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement. Hey, don't touch it.
What are you doing?
Gotta let her have her emotions, man. Listen.
Have a nice day.
Listen, I'm not saying that she was right.
Let's have a conversation.
She was wrong for that. But you gotta show yourself.
Sorry,
If you really love her, you let her go.
No, 100%, guys. I'm not gonna press. Thank you. See, I'm not gonna. No, that's not. Hey, put it on mine. We gotta go shortly. I got
a question.
Sure. What was your name again? I'm sorry.
I don't think I told you. My name's Mercury.
Nice to meet you. Well, nice to re-meet you, I should say.
What do you hope to get out of this? Why are you here?
Okay, I've been asked that question a lot. First of all, that question should not even have to be asked, but when people stop talking, really bad stuff starts. When marriages stop talking, divorce happens. When church starts happening, they fall apart. When civilizations stop talking, civil war ensues. When you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to want to commit violence against that group.
I have sympathy for people that suffer from gender dysphoria and compassion, and I think we'll explore that together.
Okay, this is a hard one. We got a big problem on our hands in this country. I think the violence and the insanity has reached such a level that I think we're all just becoming numb to it on some level. So I really wanted to do this about Charlie Kirk because, I had the pleasure of actually debating Charlie, which on some level it kind of really wasn't a debate because we agreed on a lot of stuff. I mean, it's so amazing that he wants to bring me on and actually have conversation about the transgenderism movement and, everything that I oppose in that movement. And he was really willing to sort of try to learn about certain kinds of things. And I just thought it was so amazing. And so I accepted the invitation. And I remember, like, I became friends with Charlie. We clearly were not like always in contact or whatever, but we walked away like super chill and awesome with each other and shaking hands and just sort of like laughing and being cool, and then profoundly awesome way, because everyone thinks he's transphobic because he doesn't believe kids should transition, which is, I don't. But, the thing that was so cool about Charlie was he was always willing to have the conversation. But people didn't see that. They just didn't like, again, that's what's wrong here today is a group of people, I would say, let's call them the woke left. They don't want to have conversation. Okay. They don't want to. They want you to believe what they're telling you. Bottom line, no other way. Charlie had his beliefs. Didn't mean that he wasn't willing to have, maybe possibly be able to change his mind or not. I think I walked away from that debate with Charlie Kirk where he thought about it a little bit more profoundly, and in some ways had no problem with me as an adult living my life happy, not bothering anybody else, and not shoving it down anybody's throat.
I will give you credit. Your willingness to have this dialogue is something that deserves to be commended.
Thank you.
Despite our very different views on a lot of different things.
But that's how things change, my friend. So I really appreciate you bringing me on. It means a lot to me that you're willing to have the conversation.
Dialogue is through reason. That's what the Greek means in it.
Buck Angel, thank you very much for joining us. And Charlie Kirk, we'll see you next debate night.
Thanks. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, my friend. That was awesome. Thank you. And that is what he cared about. And we care, mostly him and I connected, because we care about the kids and we care about the future of this country and we care about these kids having a fair chance at life. Just let's leave Charlie's family with a huge amount of love.
By the way, what brings you to California, your favorite state?
It is my, ooh, this thing's falling. It is my favorite state in the union. You're doing such a great job here, by the way. No, I'm honored to be on the show. Thank you. And
you were just down at USC?
I was at USC yesterday, drew a big crowd.
By the way, I knew you were at USC early because my niece, who's graduating.
She was the one with the MAGA hat on.
She was... By the way, I do have to watch, but she was down there and she was like, she said,
you never know. These kids are going to the right.
I'm aware. She said, this crowd's crazy. He said, and the only reason she said, she would have said it perhaps otherwise, but she knew you were coming on. The worst part though, Charlie, no BS, true story. Literally last night, trying to put my son to bed. He's like, no, Dad, what time? What time's Charlie going to be here? What time? And I'm like, dude, you're in school tomorrow. He's 13. He's like, no. This morning, wakes up at 6 something. He's like, I'm coming. I'm like, he literally would not leave the house.
Did you let him take off school?
No, he did. Of course not. He's not here for a good reason. But the point is,
you canceled school for like 2 years. One day.
The point is the point, which is you are making a damn dent.
Thank you.
You don't understand like the divinity of him tweeting that. Like,
I'm living in that 21st century. There's something meaning to it.
Let me ask you something. If a pregnant woman is killed and the baby dies too, why is the killer charged with a double homicide?
Well, because people have different beliefs.
It's not about belief, it's about truth. Science confirms life begins at conception.
So the new Charlie Kirk South Park episode is out, and let's just say the liberals aren't taking his reaction to it very well.
So let me ask you this. What is your definition of a woman?
Yeah, putting down the mic in between the question, that is pure art, South Park.
What is my what? What is a woman? It's a very simple question.
Well, a woman is a lady friend who, gives you kisses.
You see, you can't answer the question, but something is male or it is female. Both sides in scripture agree to that, and that's just the truth. Next.
Another prostitute totally destroyed.
Oh, jeez.
I think the whole thing is just awesome and hilarious. There's so much more I want to say about this, but the whole shtick, by the way, Comedy Central, South Park, you crushed the water. I compulsively drink water on campus.
So Charlie loves it. He's not offended at all, and is starting to piss off the soy boys because the liberals can't comprehend not being offended.
Hey everybody, so the South Park episode is going super viral right now.
Watching you set your brain to hyperspin mega drive to try and cope with this fucking absolute annihilation of an episode.
Sounds like you might be the one coping, because you can't understand why he wouldn't get mad at a joke, because that's your guys' thing. Y'all act like you weren't just pissed at South Park for this episode.
Okay, Heather Swanson is actually joining us now. Miss Swanson, how does it feel to be competing today?
I can't tell you how free I feel now that I've started identifying as a woman. Now that I can compete as female, I'm ready to smash the other girls.
Charlie Kirk sent me a direct message, and I'm going to show you what it said. This is almost 6 years ago exactly now, as of this video. I had not spoken to him in person or on social media. He started the conversation. You know what he said? 3 words. You are terrific. Now, bear in mind, this is back before I was blessed with the followership I have now. I had fewer than 10,000 followers on Instagram, very small Facebook presence, wasn't even on TikTok at the time. But the fact of the matter is, this young man, this leader of Turning Point USA, reached out to me and saw something I had done. And he felt so moved that he reached out to me himself to encourage me. And then he went a step further. He invited me to the BLS, which is the Black Leadership Summit Turning Point USA was putting on in Washington, D.C. I told him, transparently, I was in between jobs and didn't have the money to fund my trip. He told me that they had scholarships available and to email him directly, and he'd be able to take care of it. I did, and that's the story of how I got to be a part of the Young Black Leadership Summit, which was instrumental in springboarding me to where I am today. Now, I share that story because he didn't have to do that. And if he was a racist person, why would he do that? I'm so tired of people being besmirched by the tired liberal lie that anyone they don't like has to be some sort of racist. And I'm not immune to this. They call me racist myself. Of course, it's ridiculous on its face, but this is the nonsensical nature of your average leftist. They really want you to believe deep down Charlie Kirk hated all black people. He saw the best in everyone. He saw in me something I didn't even quite see in myself at the time, and he chose to encourage me. That is why I will literally and metaphorically pick up that mic and continue the work that he started, because I myself and many others are tired of being slandered and maligned by individuals who have nothing to sell us but fear, panic, and lies 24/7. I had to share that story with you. I thought about keeping that to myself, but the more I see him being typecast as some sort of evil person, the more I cannot be silent, and I hope that you will not be silent as well. It is time for action like never before. It is time for voices to rise like never before, and I hope you will join me in that effort. So that is the real Charlie Kirk, the one they don't want you to know, but the one I will continue to remember and honor with my actions into the future. So those are my thoughts. Hopefully you share, and hopefully you get busy as well, because we all have microphones to pick up, and we are all Charlie Kirk.
Y'all, I'm here with the man himself, Charlie Kirk, and I just want him to give y'all a word of encouragement for what he said tonight.
Oh, what a great group. So many amazing stories. People are waking up to the lies of the left and what the Marxists have done to the black community. And I believe in hope for all Americans. And we talk about the 10 Commandments and God, and I really love it. Blexit is doing great work.
Awesome, that's right. Who the sun set free is
free indeed.
Free indeed.
Okay, now you can take a photo.
And Jewish donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish donors have been the #1 funding mechanism of radical, open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews. And now it's coming for Jews, and they're like, what on earth happened? And it's not just the colleges, it's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it. It's like time for you guys to wake up and say no more, draw a line in the sand. I don't care if you hate me.
I'm a gay conservative, and I just want to ask you, what do you have to say for people like me who kind of feel like, I guess, it's kind of hard for gay conservatives because there's not a lot of us. So, like, what do you have to say to other gay people who need to realize, like, they do have a choice? Like,
yeah, first of all, welcome to the conservative movement. I don't think you should introduce yourself just based on your sexual
No,
attractions.
I agree. I like
because that's not who you are.
I like to be thought of as a person, and
for sure, you are a complete human being, and I'm sure you treat people well, and you're studying something. So I want to get away with this idea that you're gay anything. I just think that we have gone a long way in the negative direction in this country, where we act as if the most important part of your identity is what you do in the bedroom. It doesn't mean that much to me, but if you ask from a perspective as a Christian, I don't agree with that lifestyle, but politics is about addition and multiplication. I imagine you agree with a lot of what we talk about.
Absolutely.
Right? Strong borders, strong country, and for that, we welcome you into the conservative movement.
Thank you.
It's been a day since the tragic murder of Charlie Kirk, and this POS at BuzzFeed has already come out with an article to try to make Charlie look like he wasn't such a good guy. At a Turning Point USA event in 2023, Kirk said he thinks gun deaths are worth it to have a Second Amendment. This is no different than saying people being offended by words is worth it for everyone to have the freedom of speech. In some countries, Alexa, who wrote this, wouldn't have the freedom to drive a car because she's a woman. Yet I bet that doesn't stop Alexa from driving, knowing that there's a possibility of women getting into car accidents and possibly dying from it. On his self-titled radio talk show, Kirk expressed his dislike of the word empathy. Yes, Charlie said he prefers the word sympathy to empathy, specifically because people try to weaponize empathy. He never said feeling bad for people was a bad thing. Manipulating the way that somebody thinks because you think that they should think based on how somebody else feels is bad. Appearing on Jubilee's internet show Surrounded, Kirk insisted black people were better in the 1940s under Jim Crow laws. No, he was debating a girl who said that their high crime rate today was based on them being oppressed. Then Charlie asked her, then how come in the 1940s, where there were Jim Crow laws and they were actually oppressed, their crime rate was a lot lower? But don't take my word for it. Here's the clip.
When blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today, they were less murderous, there was less break-ins. Why is that?
So I'm sorry, are you trying to say that blacks thrive under subjugation?
No, I'm not. I'm saying I'm asking you the question. The data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes.
Maybe they were afraid. I mean, 4,000 black men, women, and children were killed in violent lynch mobs.
If that's your explanation, but I guess
racial terror permeated American culture for hundreds of years.
Black America is worse than it has been
that
in the last
affected
80 years.
The generational psyche of an entire group of people?
No, I'm sure it did. I'm not discounting that. I'm just trying to understand, why is it the more social welfare we've done, so we've spent $20 trillion on uplifting black communities, $20 trillion, and black Americans are poor. We've done everything that's been asked.
You haven't done everything that's been asked, though.
Great society,
because what is being
stamps,
asked?
Subsidized housing, Medicaid, public schooling, subsidized college. We're talking about $20 trillion that has been spent on the Great Society, and yet Black America is poorer, more murderous, more dangerous. So there's an explanation. I'm asking you to explain.
But we are not.
During the same Jubilee episode, Kirk was asked what he would want his daughter to do if she were 10 years old and pregnant following rape. His answer was, after calling this scenario graphic, he responds, the answer is yes, the baby would be delivered. They left a lot out. Here's the clip.
So if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped and she was going to give birth and she would, and she was going to give birth and she was going to live, would you want her to go through that and carry her baby?
That's awfully graphic.
But it's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
Oh, okay, great. So that's insane.
But let me tell you why. No, hold on. Let me ask you a question. There's 2 ultrasounds I have. One is a baby conceived in rape. One is a baby conceived by a loving couple. Which one is which?
Your daughter was probably hopefully conceived by a somewhat
Which person here was
loving
conceived
couple.
by? Tell me which one was conceived by.
You don't know.
Exactly, because it's all human rights and
But
it's all
that
human beings.
doesn't matter.
So
It's about your daughter who has to give
no.
birth to it and is going to be tortured by that
Hold
for
on
the
a second.
rest of her
You-
life.
you are
That's
not-
going to take away every
Hold on a
freedom
second.
she's ever going to have.
Hold on.
That's going to
Every
ruin
freedom.
her life. She's
You
going
know
to
what?
grow up and she's going to
Abortion
be
is not a
attached to
victimless
another
crime.
thing.
The point is how you were conceived is irrelevant to what human rights you get.
But
hold on one second. If a person conceived in walks on the side of the street, it's not like they don't get First Amendment rights or Second Amendment rights.
It's
or
not
Fourth
about
Amendment
that
rights.
person.
The worst thing to do to the daughter is to then say, "Hey, we're going to go murder the being inside of you."
They wouldn't even know. Like, listen.
They wouldn't know.
Listen.
But wouldn't it be a better story to say something evil happened and we do something good in the face of
No.
evil instead of saying we're going to do evil and then murder the being because we're going to pander to the evil? No. What makes the West great is that we do good after evil, not evil after evil.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but it sounds to me like Charlie has a lot of sympathy for innocent life. At a Turning Point USA event, Kirk suggested trans people are wearing the gender equivalent of blackface. I can't be black, just like I can't be a woman. If I dress up as a woman to go to a Comic-Con so people see me as a character, or dress the exact same way as I would go to that Comic-Con and walk down the street, there is no difference between the two. I'm dressed like a woman, but I'm not one. I would be, in fact, cosplaying as one in both scenarios. On his radio show, Kirk not only said that Joy Reid, Michelle Obama, Sheila Jackson Lee, and Ketanji Brown Jackson are affirmative action picks, he also said black women do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to be taken somewhat seriously. He never said black women do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken seriously. He was talking about the same women he mentioned in 6. Don't believe me? Here's the clip.
Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color.
In the beginning, he said if we said these women were affirmative action hires, we would be called racist, but we didn't need to because they called themselves that. I have seen this exact thing circulating around the internet as a direct quote from Charlie Kirk, and as you can see, this is completely false. On X, Kirk insisted gun control like vaccine and masks is focused on making people feel safe by taking freedoms away from others. Don't fall for it. My wife will not feel safer if you take away her guns, especially when you cannot guarantee her safety from people using whatever weapon they want to use, including guns if you ban them. Just like I'm not going to feel safer if you want to inject me with something that I do not have confidence in. Following the release of an NBC poll illustrating the difference in priorities between Gen Zers, which showed that Gen Z women who voted for Kamala Harris see having a fulfilling career as a marker of success, Kirk said Democrat women want to die alone without children. Alexa even posted the exact tweet showing in women who voted for Harris from top priority to lowest priority, having children was the lowest priority at 6%. Call me crazy, but if only 6% of young Democrat women want to prioritize having children, Charlie to say that Democrat women want to be alone without children is pretty accurate. Kirk repeatedly spread misinformation surrounding the death of George Floyd, who experts say died from an officer applying their knee to his neck. Instead, Kirk, who is not a medical examiner and did not examine Floyd's body, said his death was caused by an overdose. Why would Kirk have to be a medical examiner himself to believe what experts, medical examiners have said that he just said? If there is a debate between experts, then he is allowed to believe the one he wants, just as you are. My take on it is if the same experts who said he died from the knee insisted that the fentanyl in drugs contributed, they're suggesting that the knee wasn't enough to do it by itself without contributing factors. Kirk wanted to raise the age of retirement and didn't think people should retire at all. If our government is going to supply us with retirement funds and people are getting more from their retirement funds than they are paying in, the country will go bankrupt. If we raise the retirement age, we will be putting more in and not getting as much back as a way to balance that. Yes, he didn't think people should retire at all because we should always be doing what God wants us to do. The difference is he was a man that was willing to back that up himself. Finally, but certainly not last, during Pride Month, children's show host Rachel wished followers a happy Pride Month and responded to subsequent backlash by quoting the Bible and expressing the importance of loving every neighbor. Miss Rachel, quoting the Bible, expressing the importance of loving every neighbor, had nothing to do with what she did. She was wishing everybody a happy Pride. Wishing everyone a happy Pride is not celebrating your neighbor. It is celebrating the sin of the neighbor. So yes, she was right in the importance of loving your neighbor, but not loving their sin. I just want to say to Charlie's family, I'm sorry for your loss. I promise with every ability that we have, we will not stop fighting for the legacy that he created. My wife and I will do absolutely everything to try and stop the manipulative, evil people that try to flip the good that Charlie has done and said. My wife and I have had at least 20 platforms get canceled, and Charlie and TPUSA flew us out to one of his events and gave us an amazing experience where we got to meet him and many other prominent conservatives. That is something I will never forget. Regardless how small we always are, because we keep getting canceled, we're going to keep fighting and doing everything in our power. God bless you and your family, Erica. Your husband was an amazing man.
The core of the left, at the core of a liberal, is someone that would use the sword if they had it. They are very violent people at their core. They always have been. They can't debate. They can't have conversation. So they'll resort to these tactics. They're going to do everything they possibly can to try to murder this movement because they can't beat us. So they're going to try to take weapons. And no, we're very aware of that. I'm aware of it. We have to have full-time security. This is not a joke. This is who these people are.